school. She was surprised to see such a huge, fancy house. She looked around to see if anyone was there and saw a handsome guy outside in the garden. She decided to approach him. The guy told her that she had finally woken up and that she had been sleeping for ages. Minsu asked him how she got there. The guy replied that she was lucky he wasn't stuck up, or he would have left her at the bar. Confused, Minsu tried to ask him more questions, but an old man who seemed like a butler approached and told the guy that it was almost time for his horse-riding activity. The guy looked at Minsu and told her that he had already called an Uber for her. He added that she could have breakfast before heading home. The guy went back to the house. Minsu tried to remember what had happened the previous night. Slowly, things started coming back to her, and she felt ashamed for letting herself get so wasted. She was even more embarrassed that the guy might think poorly of her, which wasn't the impression she wanted to leave. Minsu had always prided herself on leaving good impressions. She rushed back into the house where the guy was getting ready for his horse-riding activity. Minsu sat next to him and asked if she could join him. The guy told her that he preferred going alone and suggested she go home instead. Minsu begged him and explained that she was usually bored at school and had nothing to do on weekends. She said this could be a fun opportunity for her, something she rarely experienced. Reluctantly, the guy agreed and told her they could go together. On the way there, the guy concentrated on the road as he drove. Minsu, on the other hand, was excited to be doing something fun for the first time. She also wanted to leave a good impression. She looked at him, admiring how handsome he was. It was her first time spending time with someone so good-looking. For a moment, she wondered if she was dreaming, but smiled to herself when she realized it was all real. At the horse ranch, the guy asked Minsu if she knew how to ride a horse. She told him no. He said he would ride on his own and suggested she try learning or simply sit and wait. Minsu watched as he rode away. She wondered what kind of person he was. He appeared tough on the outside, but seemed gentle and kind. As she admired him making rounds on his horse, the guy felt bad and came back to her. He told her he would teach her how to ride. They got on one horse together and began trotting slowly. Minsu could feel his entire body pressed against hers. She felt his breath on her neck as he guided her. She wondered if this was what it felt like to be close to a guy. In her 21 years, she had never been with anyone, or even had her first kiss. She quickly shook off her thoughts, and reminded herself that she didn't know him well, and just wanted to leave a good impression. After the horse-riding session, the guy took Minsu to a nearby cafe. They sat together in awkward silence until an old woman, who seemed to be the owner, approached them. The woman appeared to know the guy and praised him for bringing someone with him, saying he always came alone. The woman looked at Minsu and commented that it was her first time having a black person in the cafe. She then asked where Minsu was from. Before Minsu could answer, the guy quickly replied, saying she was Korean, and asked the woman to bring them food. Touched by his response, Minsu thanked him. The guy told her not to let anyone undermine her. As they ate quietly, Minsu looked at the guy and smiled. She felt happy, as though she could be herself around him. He also seemed protective of her. The guy then asked if her parents were born in Korea. Minsu explained that she was adopted and never knew her biological parents, but she was happy with the ones she had. She added that she often felt like she didn't belong because she didn't feel Korean enough or pretty enough. The guy looked at her and told her he thought she was beautiful. Minsu blushed and smiled. On their way back, Minsu felt a little sad that her day was coming to an end. The guy dropped her off at her university. She waved as he drove away, amazed by how wonderful her day had been. That night, Minsu couldn't stop thinking about the guy she had met. It all felt like a dream. She then realized she had forgotten to ask for his name or number. The thought of never seeing him again upset her. Days passed, and Minsu couldn't get the weekend out of her mind. She couldn't focus in class and even told her friend about him. Her friend encouraged her to look for him. Minsu returned to the bar, hoping to find him, but there was no sign of him. She went back again and stood outside, but still, there was no sign.